Hey you. So I heard you like higher frame rates. GPU makers heard the same thing and implemented Resizable Bar. Without getting too techie specky, what it does is allow for better communication between your CPU and the video RAM on your GPU, expanding the data flow between them. You can use this with AMD and NVIDIA, but if you got an AMD chip and card, AMD GPUs have a better version of this called Smart Access Memory. I don't have an AMD card to test this out with, but let's take a look at Resizable Bar on a 3070. You need a 30 series card to use it. To see if it's enabled, right-click your desktop and choose NVIDIA Control Panel. Then click System Information on the lower left. After that, you may need to scroll down, but look for Resizable Bar or possibly R-Bar or Resize Bar. If it's set to yes, you're good. If it says no, then you have to enable it in BIOS. If it doesn't show up at all, either your GPU doesn't support it or you need to update the VBIOS for your card. To enable it for unsupported games, you have to download NVIDIA Profile Inspector. Run it as an admin. Click the magnifying glass to enable the unknown settings. Select Squadron 42 Star Citizen. Scroll down to the unknown section. Then select the setting ending in BA and click the first option in the drop-down menu. Do the same for the next one ending in BB. And the same for the one ending in FF, and then apply changes. If you're running the game, you'll need to completely close it out. If it's lingering in your system tray, close that out too before relaunching the game. Now let's take a look at the difference between on and off in Star Citizen. There's a few times in the game where Resizable Bar performs better on than it does off, but mostly it performs worse. That means it's useless then? Definitely for Star Citizen at this point, but there are a handful of games that do show a better performance increase. Beyond those titles, it ranges from a few frames better down to a loss of up to 10 frames per second. Personally, I got about a 5 frame per second difference in Cyberpunk 2077, which supports it natively. It's worth having a few extra frames for the games that actually support it, but not for Star Citizen, at least not for today. So Resizable Bar won't be making it rain frames into your game, at least at this point. Pretty much feels like they've abandoned development on it. I got a feeling AMD's Smart Access Memory might do at least a little bit better job of it. If you tried it, let me know how well it works in the comments. Was this vid just a waste of time then? Not quite, my friend. If you made it this far, here's something for you that does actually work. The easiest way to improve your frame rate is to lower your resolution. That will bump your frames, but that leaves you with either really muddy visuals or a tiny screen. So you need an option to upscale these things. NVIDIA's DLSS and AMD's FSR are usually the go-to options for this, but at this point in Star Citizen's development, they're not an option. That doesn't mean you're out of options though. NVIDIA Image Scaling, or NIS, is an option that allows you to upscale your PC's resolution. There's several steps involved to get this going, and if you got an ultra-wide monitor, it's gotta be a pain in the ass. Another option is a Steam app called Lossless Scaling. It's $5 USD, and it gives you the option to toggle the scaling on or off. It takes the pain of setting up upscaling and then putting your settings back to the original when you don't want to use it. If you want to see it in action, take a look at Down to Earth Astronomy's video in the upper right. Can you do some things to bump your frames? Yes, you can, but there's trade-offs. Lowering your resolution and then upscaling it works, but the visual quality will never be as good as the native resolution. I'd recommend using it if your frame rate is really struggling, but not if you're trying to max out your monitor. As Star Citizen progresses through development, Gen 12 renderer is implemented, and the Vulkan API is integrated, the performance gains will be more significant than any frame rate band-aid that you could slap on right now. To see more Star Citizen's progress, check out this video. Fly Dirty Citizens.